Have you ever wondered why some people seem destined to walk alone? Why, even though they are special, determined, with a greater purpose, do they live without friends, without relationships, without anyone by their side? If this is happening to you, maybe it's not bad luck. Perhaps it is because the chosen ones are destined for solitude. The truth is hard, but it needs to be said. Not everyone is prepared to walk alongside those who were born for something big. The path of the chosen ones is not made of applause, company, and unconditional support. On the contrary, it is marked by closed doors, betrayals, disappointments, and an overwhelming sense that no one really understands you. And you know what the scariest part is? This is not a mistake. This is part of the process. You can even try to fit in, be part of groups, build relationships, but deep down, something always seems to go wrong. People move away, or worse, they stay, but they drain your energy, suck your essence, prevent you from growing. If you've ever felt this way, if you've ever looked around and realized that you're walking this journey alone, then this video was made for you. Because there's a reason this happens, and I'll tell you exactly why the chosen ones don't have friends, don't have relationships, and often face the world alone. But before revealing this truth, I want to make a request to you. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications, because here we talk about what no one has the courage to say. If you feel that your journey is different, that no one understands you, then this is your place. Now get ready, because what I'm going to tell you will change the way you see your own life. From a very early age, you realized that you were not like the others. There was something about you that made you feel out of place, like you were living in a world that didn't speak your language. As the people around you resigned themselves to mediocrity, you felt a constant restlessness, a need to seek something greater, something you couldn't always explain. The problem is that being different comes at a price, and he's not short. The world doesn't like what it can't understand, and most people reject what is out of the norm. When you don't fit in, you inevitably become the target of crooked looks, criticism, and often isolation. But why does this happen? Why do those who possess a higher purpose seem doomed to loneliness? The answer lies in fear. The fear that others feel of those who refuse to follow the traditional path. When you choose to grow, evolve, and defy normalcy, you become a threat to those who have settled down. Its existence in itself bothers those who do not have the courage to change. At first, it can be painful to realize that your way of being causes people to turn away. But over time, you begin to understand that this loneliness is not a punishment, but a filter that separates those who are prepared to walk by your side from those who would only slow you down. The loneliness of the chosen is not a curse. It is a natural consequence of those who were born for something greater. If you feel that you don't fit in, that the people around you don't understand your worldview, maybe it's because you were made for a path that few have the courage to walk. The problem is that in order to follow this path, you must first accept the hardest truth of all. Not everyone who starts with you will make it to the end of the journey by your side. Have you ever tried to explain your dreams to someone and realized that they just can't understand it? Do you talk about your goals, about what moves you, but instead of excitement or support, you get blank stares, demotivating comments, and, in some cases, even laughter? This does not happen because your dreams are impossible. This is because most people's mindset is limited. Human beings by nature fear the unknown. And when you talk about something that goes beyond what others consider normal, the most common reaction isn't support, it's resistance. Think about how many revolutionary ideas were ridiculed before they became reality. Great inventors, leaders, and visionaries have been discredited, mocked, and often excluded. This is because they saw something that others could not see. When you have a differentiated mind, when you think big and don't accept to conform, it's natural that the people around you can't keep up with your reasoning. For them, the easiest way out is to disbelieve you, because admitting that your dreams are possible would require them to face their own stagnation. But here's the crux of the matter. You don't need them to understand. Many people spend their lives trying to prove their worth to others, seeking validation from friends, family, colleagues. But the chosen ones understand that their mission goes beyond the understanding of others. What really matters isn't whether people understand your purpose. It's whether you have the courage to move forward even when no one believes in you. So if you feel that no one understands you, that there is always an invisible wall separating you from the rest of the world, know that this is not a sign to give up. It's a sign that you're thinking differently, dreaming bigger, and seeing beyond what most people can see. And that's exactly what the chosen ones do. If there's one thing the chosen ones know well, it's disappointment. You trust someone, you believe you found a true friendship or a solid relationship, and then all of a sudden that person changes. She moves away, betrays you, or simply disappears without explanation. At first, you try to understand what you did wrong. Did he say something? Did he demand too much? But over time, you realize that the problem was never with you, but with the incompatibility between your purpose and the people who cross your path. The truth is that not everyone is prepared to walk alongside someone who thinks differently. In the beginning, many approach you because they see something special in you. They are attracted to your energy, your worldview, your way of seeing things. But over time, they realize they can't keep up with their pace, and that's where the disappointments begin. You begin to notice signs of falsehood, envy, competition disguised as friendship. People who used to say they supported you now try to diminish you. Relationships that seem solid begin to crumble for no apparent reason. And when you least expect it, you find yourself alone again. This happens because their presence unintentionally exposes the limitations of others. You don't have to do anything. Just being who you are is enough to arouse discomfort in those who don't have the courage to grow. And instead of facing this discomfort and evolving, many people prefer to simply walk away. That is why the chosen ones are always disappointed. They enter cycles where they believe they have found people who will finally walk alongside them, only to realize that those same people are not prepared to stay. But there is a positive side to all this. Each disappointment is a filter. Each person who leaves your life is making room for someone better, someone who really deserves to be by your side. In the end, the chosen ones never lose anyone. They are only delivered from those who have never really been with them. If you're growing, evolving, expanding your mindset, then inevitably you're going to be alone in many moments. This doesn't mean that you're a difficult person to deal with or that there's something wrong with you. On the contrary, loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of growth. You see, most people live at a low level of consciousness. They follow the routine without question, accept life as it is, and make no effort to change. Now, when you decide to step out of that pattern, when you choose to improve yourself and achieve something greater, you become different. And the different is scary. Think of it as a ladder. If you're moving up to a new level, but your friends, your partner, or even your family prefer to stay in the same place, what happens? A distance begins to emerge. You start to see the world in a different way, to talk about things they don't understand, to seek experiences they don't value. And the result of this? Clearance. Growth creates a chasm between you and those who are not willing to grow. And no matter how hard you try to pull them up, the truth is that each person needs to be ready to take the next step on their own. Many of the chosen ones try to fight this loneliness. They diminish their dreams, try to fit in again, avoid talking about their goals so as not to bother others. But this only generates frustration, because deep down, they know that they no longer belong there. The loneliness of growing up is inevitable, but it is also necessary. It forces you to look within, to know yourself better, to understand who you really are. And most importantly, it paves the way for the right people to come into your life. Those who are truly at the same level of consciousness as you. So if you feel like you're growing up while also getting more alone, know that this is a good sign. This means that you are going where few have the courage to go. How many times have you found yourself wondering if the people around you really want the best for you? Are your friends real, or are they just there because it's convenient? Do they propel you forward, or are they slowly holding you in the same place? One of the greatest pitfalls in the lives of the chosen ones is the illusion of friendship. Often you believe that you have found a group of people who support you, who want to see you grow, who cheer for your success. But deep down, what really happens? Growth exposes true intentions. The moment you start to evolve, to build something bigger, to dream bigger, you realize that not everyone is happy for you. Real friends stay by your side even when you're growing up. They celebrate your achievements, encourage your dreams, and offer genuine support. But fake friends begin to change. They are bothered by your progress, make sarcastic comments, discourage you with phrases disguised as concern, such as, "Are you sure this will work? I think you're dreaming too big. Why change? You're already fine like this." These people don't openly say they want to see you fail. They do this in a subtle, almost imperceptible way. And if you're not attentive, you may end up believing that they really want the best for you. But the truth is that they are afraid of their growth because it forces them to face their own stagnation. The chosen ones need to understand that not all friendships are forever. Some people come into your life only for a period and not for the entire journey. And in many cases, the best thing you can do is to step back before they become anchors, holding you in place, preventing your advance. The question you should ask yourself is, are the friends you have today lifting you up or pulling you back? If they don't add up, if they just suck your energy and make you doubt yourself, then maybe it's time to let them go. Because real friends don't hold you back. They propel you to fly. If friendships can be anchors, relationships can be invisible prisons. Many chosen ones, out of need, end up entering into relationships that suck them emotionally. They fall in love, they give themselves completely, they believe that they have finally found someone who understands them. But over time, they realize that this relationship does not strengthen them. On the contrary, it exhausts them. Draining relationships are those that they consume their energy instead of renewing it. They make you feel alone, even accompanied. They create doubts about their own worth. They require you to decrease yourself so that the other feels comfortable. The problem is that, for the chosen ones, this type of relationship is even more dangerous. As their journey is already lonely, the idea of finally having someone by their side can be tempting. But if this person does not share the same mindset, if they do not understand their journey, they may end up becoming a burden rather than a support. How many dreams have been shattered because someone got into a relationship with the wrong person? How many lives have been limited because one partner could not stand the greatness of the other? The chosen ones cannot get involved with just anyone. They need partners who understand them, who respect their space, who encourage their growth. Someone who is willing to grow together and not to hold you in the same place. If you're in a relationship that constantly tires you out, frustrates you, makes you doubt yourself, maybe it's time to ask yourself, does this person really add to my life, or is they just draining my energy? Relationships should not be current. They must be wings. Having a purpose in life is powerful, but it can also be extremely lonely. When you are clear about your path and know exactly where you want to go, you find that few people share that vision. Most simply, go with the flow, live on autopilot, without questioning, without seeking something greater. But you don't. You feel within yourself that there is something beyond, something that needs to be done, something that only you can accomplish. But this purpose comes at a cost, and that cost many times is loneliness. This is because the journey of the chosen ones requires sacrifices. You can't waste time with empty conversations, with friendships that don't add to you, with relationships that weaken you. While others have fun without worry, you are working, studying, growing. At first, this may seem unfair. You wonder why you have to give up so many things while others live their lives normally. But over time, you realize that there is no other way. Great achievements require great renunciations. The chosen ones live without friends and without relationships, not because they want to, but because this is a natural consequence of focus and discipline. To get where few go, you need to do what few do. And the most interesting thing is that, as you get closer to your purpose, the right people start to appear. Not the ones who want to pull you down, but the ones who share the same vision, the same energy, the same mindset. The price of purpose is high, but what comes after it is worth every sacrifice. Have you ever noticed how, as you grow up, people start to move away? Friends who were always around before disappear. Relationships grow cold. Connections that seem strong simply fall apart. At first, this may seem like a problem. You may think you're doing something wrong, but in fact, this is part of the process. People drift away for several reasons. Because they can't keep up with their pace. Because they feel intimidated by its growth. because deep down, they were never really by his side. This can be painful. After all, no one likes to feel like they're losing important people. But the chosen ones need to understand one thing. Not every departure is a loss. Often, these people needed to get out of your way so that you could move forward. The universe has a peculiar way of removing from your life those who no longer make sense for your growth. If everyone is drifting away, maybe it's because you're rising to a level where few can reach. And the truth is, at the end of the journey, you'll never really be alone, because those who belong to your destiny will always find a way back to you. If there is an absolute truth about the chosen, it is this: you cannot be ordinary. From an early age, you felt like you didn't fit in. While the others followed patterns, you questioned. As long as they accepted reality as it was, you sought something greater. You've always known deep down that you were made for something different, but being different comes at a price. The world is programmed to reward compliance. Society wants you to think like everyone else, act like everyone else, live like everyone else. And any deviation from this norm causes you to be seen as an outsider, a madman, someone who needs to be brought back to reality. But this reality is not for you. If you tried to be ordinary, something inside you would die. You would feel suffocated, trapped, incomplete, because the chosen ones cannot be satisfied with a mediocre life. They need to evolve, grow, achieve something bigger. But this need for evolution isolates you. You look around and realize that few people share this desire. While you want to learn, build, transform, others just want to survive, have fun, and avoid any kind of effort. And it is at this moment that you realize, either you become ordinary to fit in, or you accept your uniqueness and go your way alone. The chosen ones make the second choice, because they know that loneliness is temporary, but living a life without purpose, without meaning, just to please others, this is unacceptable. Few things hurt more than rejection. Whether it's from friends, family, or someone you love, being excluded or ignored creates a deep wound. And the chosen ones feel this pain more intensely because they are rejected many times. Have you ever noticed how some people just don't like you, even for no apparent reason? How can you be kind, upright, loyal, yet feel like you don't belong anywhere? This is because your energy doesn't match the limited mindset of the majority. Rejection doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. In fact, it means that you are on the right track. The world rejects those who are different because they do not know how to deal with what they do not understand. Often, rejection is a deliverance. You may not realize it at the time, but every door that closes, every person who walks away, every group that excludes you, is actually protecting you from something that could prevent you from growing. The chosen ones learn to transform the pain of rejection into fuel. Each no they receive strengthens them. Each time they are cast aside, they use it as a reminder that they were not meant to live in the crowd. Because in the end, rejection is nothing more than the universe directing you to your true purpose. Do you feel like you've been called to something greater? Does a voice within you push you to grow, change, seek more from life? This is the call to greatness, and it does not happen by chance. The chosen ones are not born to live an ordinary life. They carry within themselves a unique purpose, something that needs to be accomplished. But heeding that call means paying a high price. It means giving up the comfort zone, empty friendships, purposeless relationships. And the most difficult thing? Not everyone will understand your journey. When you start following your calling, you realize that the people around you don't share the same vision. While you're focused on growing up, they're distracted by fleeting pleasures. While you seek knowledge, they avoid any effort. At first, this can be frustrating. You try to bring these people with you. You try to show the way. But he soon realizes that he can't carry anyone. Each person needs to wake up on their own. The call to greatness is lonely because few have the courage to accept it. Most prefer to hide, live on automatic, take the easy way. But the chosen ones do not have that option. They know that ignoring this call means living an empty, meaningless, impactless life. And that's why they move on, even alone, even without support. Because greatness has never been for the weak. It is for those who have the courage to walk alone. Why are the chosen ones always alone? Why can't they maintain friendships or relationships for long? The answer lies in the fact that they are different from most. Most people live predictably. They follow established patterns, avoid challenges, seek comfort above all else. But the chosen ones do not conform to this. They want to grow, change, evolve. And that separates them from the rest. It is natural for friendships to fall apart, for relationships not to last, for people to move away. This is not a mistake. It is the natural process of someone who is always evolving. Imagine that you are climbing a mountain. At first, there are a lot of people around you, but as the road becomes more difficult, some give up, others get tired, few continue, and at a certain point you look around and realize that you are alone. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It means that you are going to a place where few have the courage to go. The chosen ones live alone because their journey is not for everyone. And in the end, this loneliness becomes his greatest strength. Because while others need the approval of others to follow, you have learned to walk on your own. The loneliness of the chosen ones is real. The distance from people hurts. Rejection hurts. But the big question is not why this happens, but how you can turn this pain into strength. Many get lost on this path. They let loneliness make them bitter, closed to the world, suspicious of everyone. But the truly chosen ones understand that this phase of isolation has a purpose, to strengthen you for something greater. Here's the truth. The pain you feel today is preparing you for the greatness that comes tomorrow. Think of the greatest leaders, thinkers, and creators in history. How many of them had support at first? How many have been rejected, discredited, left aside? Almost all of them. That's because loneliness shapes character. It teaches resilience, patience, self-confidence. It forces you to know yourself deeply, to trust yourself when no one else does. But how to transform this pain into strength? Here are 3 essential steps. Accept loneliness as part of the process. Instead of fighting it, understand that this is part of the path of the chosen. The sooner you accept it, the faster you can grow. Use this time to develop yourself. Invest in knowledge. Practice new skills. Work on your mindset. Loneliness can be a burden or an opportunity. You decide how to use it. Wait for the right connections. At some point, the right people will show up. People who share the same vision, who understand their journey. But this only happens when you are already strong enough not to depend on anyone else to move forward. The pain of loneliness can destroy or transform you. The chosen ones choose the second option, because in the end, you'll realize that you've never really been alone. You are just being prepared for something that few will have the courage to achieve.